Thank you very much for joining us today. I would like to invite first each of you to say a couple of words about your own work and your contribution to the topic and your view on digital skills and active citizenship and how we can make sure that all adults have the necessary skills, and then we can also have some questions. I'm sorry, but we have just one microphone, so we have to share it between everyone, which I think will be a bit of a challenge, but we will manage. So please keep that in mind.
So my name is Nuska. So first of all, thanks for inviting me, and thanks for all of you for participating in this still important debate. And I work at DG Education and Culture, and as you probably know, DG Education and Culture came out almost 2 years ago with the Digital Education Action Plan that sets 3 priorities in which we support member states in their digital education endeavour, which means basically providing better opportunities for all, including for digital skills development, which is the second priority in the Digital Education Action Plan. So, as you probably all know, we have a new commission that took service on Sunday, and in the priority guidelines of the new commission, actually the update of the Digital Education Action Plan is highlighted. So we will work on that, and it was announced, I think it was today or yesterday, by our new commissioner, Maria Gabriel, that the Digital Education Action Plan will be updated in a year's time. So, and in terms of the digital skills development of adults, so I connect to what I just said, and Gabriele, you were right in your introduction in saying that it's a bit polarized, the landscape, in a way, the European Commission. It's an oversimplification in a way, but it's also right. In fact, the Digital Education Action Plan, the current one that we have, that we launched almost 2 years ago, focuses on formal education, so schools and universities, and VET education as well. But we have clear indications right now, even if the update is not ready, that we need to go beyond that and to work in a real lifelong learning perspective. So President von der Leyen underlined the need for young and adults to develop and improve their digital skills. And I cannot but support this political guideline, of course.
Hi, my name is Julie Fiona. I come from another bit of the European Commission, and if you're expecting to see an Irish man with a beard here today, I'm afraid it's not me. Unfortunately, William O'Keefe, who several of you might know, has been taken ill, although will recover from the flu, and so you have me instead. What can I say on this topic? So, I think one of the things that we stressed in the last outgoing commission is the importance of digital skills at all levels. You can see that in several of the initiatives that were launched, including the Digital Education Action Plan, which has just been mentioned. I would also highlight, in particular in the context of this discussion on adults and the huge digital divide that has opened up and is growing in many regards. We launched an initiative called the Upskilling Pathways. Now, essentially, the initial name of this was the Skills Guarantee. The details don't so much matter, but what maybe matters is the direction of political travel. What it did, and what the member states have agreed, is that digital skills are the third basic skill that everyone needs to flourish in life and in work, as has been said in the introduction. And I think that shows an important political change in the recognition of this target group and the particular need of people throughout their life, and then a focus especially on those who have been left behind and who risk falling further behind. So I think that political direction of travel will continue in the new Commission. We have just heard about the plans for the Digital Education Action Plan, of course the European education area, the new skills agenda that will be coming next year. All of these initiatives will include a strong focus on digital skills, and that also will include, in particular, looking at how we can encourage and put the right incentives in place for people to actually take advantage of some of the things that is already on offer, and to put new things in place where there are gaps. So I think I leave it there and perhaps get questions.
Merci. So is it okay to do it in French? Ok, merci. Bon, étant le local de l'étape, je pense, je préfère m'exprimer dans la langue du terroir. Voilà. Donc moi je travaille à Média Animation, c'est une association belge d'éducation aux médias, et nous notre objectif principalement c'est celui d'éveiller un regard critique sur l'environnement médiatique et aussi encourager à l'appropriation des outils médiatiques pour favoriser l'expression culturelle ou politique des citoyens au sens large. Et donc pour nous les médias, c'est tous les médias, aussi bien l'information que le divertissement, que le cinéma, les jeux vidéo, et évidemment tout l'environnement numérique, en ce compris Internet, les réseaux sociaux et les technologies mobiles. Alors ce qu'on fait concrètement, c'est que on organise des ateliers depuis maintenant plus de 10 ans, destinés à monsieur tout le monde, mais à ceux qui s'estiment en fait dans décrochage par rapport à l'environnement numérique. Et donc on organise des journées où se viennent en fait beaucoup de vieilles personnes qui n'ont pas eu l'occasion de développer leurs compétences numériques dans le cadre de leur vie. Et donc il y a 10 ans, c'est un peu ce qu'on faisait, on leur apprenait à utiliser un ordinateur, une souris, et puis après on les amenait à réfléchir de manière critique à tout cet environnement. Mais aujourd'hui, on est de plus en plus sollicité pour travailler ces questions avec des personnes qui sont globalement, on va dire, en décrochage social, donc soit des personnes âgées plutôt isolées, soit des personnes avec un léger handicap mental, par exemple, dans des centres de jour, des gens qui sont à l'assistance sociale, donc qui reçoivent des allocations, ou plus largement en fait tous les publics qui sont généralement, qui n'ont pas eu en général un cadre scolaire ou un cadre culturel suffisamment, on va dire, de qualité, mais c'est un mauvais terme en tout cas, qui n'ont pas pu apprendre par leur environnement en fait les compétences numériques. Et ce que je voulais souligner aujourd'hui, c'est que si effectivement les compétences de base sont bien souvent absentes, il nous semble quand même que les technologies mobiles sont de plus en plus présentes, elles, et qu'en fait elles ont la particularité d'être très faciles à utiliser, en apparence. Et donc là où il y a 10 ans, on devait apprendre aux gens à ouvrir Windows, à utiliser des fonctions relativement complexes qui touchaient de l'informatique, aujourd'hui on tapote sur un écran et en 2-3 bouts de doigts on arrive à faire ce qu'on veut, prendre une photo, envoyer un message à sa famille ou ouvrir une vidéo. Et par contre, là où il y a un déficit évident, c'est en fait dans l'impression qu'ont ces gens de ne pas maîtriser du tout les enjeux qui sont derrière en fait les technologies. C'est pas tant l'appareillage, c'est pas tant la technique ou les compétences qui posent problème, que le fait que tout simplement ils ne comprennent pas les problèmes qu'il peut y avoir dans les réseaux sociaux par rapport à la question de l'information en ligne par exemple, tout le rapport aux fake news plus largement. Et donc aujourd'hui on a le sentiment nous qu'il y a une urgence de parvenir à donner des éléments de base, des compétences de base pour justement réfléchir de manière critique le rapport à l'environnement numérique. C'est à la fois toujours un problème d'accès à la technologie, aux compétences basiques, mais en plus, du fait de la numérisation de tout, oui, on fait ci. Ah oui, pardon. Comment je fais? M'interromps alors? Oui. Donc en fait, c'est vraiment le fait qu'aujourd'hui, le numérique étant à chaque moment de la vie, ils ont vraiment, les personnes qui s'estiment mal à l'aise avec ces technologies ont vraiment un problème à problématiser ces technologies. Du coup, il y a vraiment, selon nous, un besoin de développer aussi des compétences d'analyse, en fait, et ça ne va pas sans un minimum de connaissances du système économique qui sont derrière ces technologies, du fonctionnement social, des enjeux politiques, des enjeux liés à l'information. Du coup, ça ouvre encore tout un autre champ de simplement savoir utiliser la souris et le clavier. Aujourd'hui, ça pose des questions, comme on sait avec la crise des fake news, par exemple, sur le rôle qu'on peut avoir en tant que personne à diffuser une information dans son réseau, par exemple. Donc pour nous, ça fait aussi partie des compétences basiques aujourd'hui qui permettent d'être plus ou moins un acteur actif dans l'environnement numérique.
Thank you. I will speak French, considering also where we are today. So I work for Media Animation, which is an organization that works in media education, and our main objective is to both sustain the critical thinking on media environment, but also to encourage cultural expression, political expression through digital skills. And what do we mean by that? We mean also areas related to entertainment, cinema, culture, everything related to the internet in a larger sense. So what we started doing around 10 years ago was organizing workshops for elderly citizens, for all people, but especially for those who struggled with digital skills. This meant, for example, how to use a keyboard, how to use a mouse. Today, our target group is a bit larger, so it also includes people who are digitally excluded, who are isolated, who suffer from mental disabilities, who might be on social benefits. So all people who, for various reasons, are not digitally competent, and what's linked to that is also the ability to think digitally. So while 10 years ago it might have been enough to open your Windows and click on a mouse, today you can do much more. You can just click and open a video. But what this means is that there are lots of areas that you need to understand, lots of areas that overlap. So what you need today is actually critical thinking to understand things like fake news. So both you need both access, but also the ability to understand what's linked to living in a digital environment. And what you also need to understand that is a whole range of areas, such as economy that's around digitalization, all the information that's around it, policies that are around it. So it's a whole series of competences that go beyond just a mouse and a keyboard. So our role is also to explain to people who attend our workshops about what their role is in, for example, dissemination of information.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, I give the word now to Philippe, who will present his organization and also your stance on the digital skills and inclusion of adult learners.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I'm from Age Platform Europe. We're a European umbrella network that brings together older people's organizations of and for older persons. And obviously it comes to mind when you talk about the digital gap, that age is a major gap creator in terms of digitalization. I first will make things a bit complicated. There are older persons who have been punching holes in cardboards that have been used to program computers. As you rightly said, those skills are no longer needed today. So part of the digital skills gap relating to older persons is that they have learned computer skills, but not those that are needed today. So that's the one thing I wanted to say. The second thing is that it's not only about skills. Older persons tend to live more than younger persons in rural areas where there's very low connectivity. Older persons tend to have lower incomes than the average population, which means that they cannot buy the newest smartphone that actually is capable of launching the banking app that you need to access your bank account, which you cannot launch with your smartphone, which is 4 years old. So there's different dimensions of the digital gap. It's not only about skills, but of course it is a lot about skills. The other thing that comes in is that older persons have a difficult access to upgrading their skills. This holds true for digital skills, but also for others. I mean, their education dates from, formal education dates from quite long ago. Education levels in the past were much lower than what is achieved today with younger persons, so there's something that comes from that. Depending on what you have been doing in your working life, you're more or less exposed to computers and digital means of working. And additionally, participation rates in lifelong learning are very low for older persons. There's a European aim to go towards 15% of participation in lifelong learning by 2020. We are very far from that for the overall population. It's about 10% right now, and for the group of 55 to 74-year-olds, it's about 4% who participate. So it's about a third of what we would like to. And additionally, I have to say that beyond 74, we have no idea who participates in lifelong learning. There are no statistics. They are just not, they are made invisible. So what are the avenues to get education in general and digital education more specifically? I already mentioned the labor market. Your employer, of course, has an interest to have a highly skilled workforce, or at least a workforce that is skilled to do what it's supposed to do. So employers have a role. Obviously, industry has a role, because we have seen many very interesting developments around health applications, for example. There are applications that can analyze all the selfies in our smartphone and all the videos and try to detect early signs of Parkinson's disease. So it's a revolution, because you can diagnose it 20 years before a doctor can look at the first symptoms that can be felt. It is a revolution, but if people don't use smartphones and don't use this application and don't have the idea that the application exists, then the invention is more or less useless. So industry has a role to play. But as you as well very rightly said, it's not only about just applying what's there, but also to develop a critical thinking what's there. And this is a role that neither employers nor industry can take up. So how to go towards more digital skills and the right digital skills? Well, the public sector does have a role there, especially around investment and around creating opportunities for non-formal, informal settings of learning that can take people on board. And as I think you rightly said as well, teach this basic skill that you need today to participate in societies. I mentioned banking. There's many other walks of life where you cannot participate properly, and it's not only about an idea of including people in the labor market. It is about participating more broadly in society, being able to reach out of your small living environment, and that's especially important for persons who might struggle maintaining their autonomy, struggle maintaining their daily walks and outside, and who want to maintain social contacts. So there's a huge opportunity, but skills is part of the problem that holds back the fulfilling the potential of these opportunities.